Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889, in the small Austrian town of Braunau am Inn, situated on the border with Germany. His father, Alois Hitler, was a customs official known for his authoritarian personality and rigid discipline. Alois had a turbulent personal life, having been married twice before marrying Adolf's mother, Clara Polzel. Clara, significantly younger than Alois, was a kind and devoted mother who lavished attention on her children, particularly Adolf. This created a stark contrast in the household, with Alois representing strict order and discipline, while Clara provided warmth and affection. As a young boy, Adolf showed early signs of artistic talent, often spending hours sketching and painting. He was particularly close to his mother, who supported his artistic ambitions despite his father's insistence on a more practical career in the civil service. This conflict between his own dreams and his father's expectations led to frequent clashes, fueling a sense of rebellion and frustration in young Adolf. Academically, Hitler was inconsistent. He excelled in subjects that interested him, such as art and history, but performed poorly in others, leading to frequent confrontations with his teachers. His academic struggles were compounded by his rebellious nature and reluctance to conform to the rigid school system. In 1907, at the age of 18, Hitler moved to Vienna with the hope of gaining admission to the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts. However, his application was rejected twice, once in 1907 and again in 1908, with the Academy deeming his work insufficient. These rejections were devastating for Hitler, who saw his dreams of becoming an artist shattered. The situation worsened with the death of his mother from breast cancer in December 1907. Her passing was a profound loss for Hitler, leaving him without his primary source of emotional support. To make matters worse, his father had died 4 years earlier, in 1903, adding to his sense of isolation and abandonment. With no family support and his artistic aspirations dashed, Hitler found himself living a precarious existence in Vienna. He took on various menial jobs and lived in homeless shelters, struggling to make ends meet. During this period, he began to develop a worldview heavily influenced by the nationalist and anti-Semitic sentiments prevalent in Vienna. He spent hours in libraries, reading voraciously about history, politics, and race theory, which further shaped his ideology. Vienna in the early 20th century was a melting pot of ideas, with many people advocating for German nationalism and anti-Semitic views. Hitler absorbed these ideas, becoming increasingly convinced that his failures were not due to his own shortcomings, but rather the result of a conspiracy orchestrated by Jews and other minority groups. This period of hardship and ideological development was crucial in forming the beliefs that would later drive his political career. Hitler's time in Vienna came to an end in 1913 when he moved to Munich, Germany. The following year, World War I broke out, and Hitler eagerly enlisted in the German army. He served as a dispatch runner on the Western Front, a role that exposed him to the horrors of trench warfare, but also provided him with a sense of purpose and belonging. Hitler was wounded twice during the war and received several commendations for bravery, including the Iron Cross, First Class. The war had a profound impact on Hitler. It reinforced his sense of nationalism and his belief in the superiority of the German people. The humiliation of Germany's defeat and the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles, which many Germans felt was unjust, further fueled his anger and resentment. He viewed the treaty as a betrayal by the Weimar Republic and blamed the Jews and other perceived enemies for Germany's suffering. Returning to a defeated and economically struggling Germany, Hitler found himself again without direction or prospects. However, the chaotic post-war environment, with its political instability and economic hardship, provided fertile ground for his burgeoning political ambitions. In 1919, he joined the German Workers' Party, DAP, a small nationalist and anti-Semitic group. His oratory skills and passionate speeches quickly elevated him within the party ranks, and he soon became its most prominent figure. By 1920, the DAP had been renamed the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP, or Nazi Party. Hitler's vision for the party included a strong emphasis on German nationalism, anti-Semitism, and anti-communism. He sought to unite the various right-wing factions in Germany under his leadership, aiming to restore Germany to its former glory. To this end, he introduced the party's emblem, the swastika, and adopted the use of the Roman salute. Hitler's rise within the Nazi Party was marked by his exceptional oratory skills and his ability to connect with the frustrations and fears of the German people. He capitalized on widespread dissatisfaction with the Weimar Republic, the economic hardships brought on by the Treaty of Versailles, and the hyperinflation of the early 1920s. His speeches were filled with promises to rebuild Germany, restore national pride, and eradicate the perceived threats posed by Jews and communists. In November 1923, Hitler and the Nazi Party attempted to overthrow the Weimar government in what became known as the Beer Hall Putsch. Inspired by Benito Mussolini's successful march on Rome, Hitler planned to seize control of the Bavarian government in Munich and then march on Berlin. However, the coup failed, and Hitler was arrested and charged with treason. During his trial, he used the courtroom as a platform to disseminate his ideas, gaining national attention and a growing following. Sentenced to 5 years in prison, Hitler served only 9 months. During his incarceration, he wrote Mein Kampf, My Struggle, an autobiographical manifesto outlining his political ideology and future plans for Germany. The book, although initially not widely read, later became the blueprint for the Nazi agenda. Hitler's time in prison also allowed him to reflect on his strategies and reorganize the Nazi Party. After his release, Hitler focused on rebuilding the Nazi Party. He adopted a more strategic approach, seeking to gain power through legal means rather than violent uprisings. The economic turmoil of the Great Depression, which began in 1929, provided Hitler with an opportunity to gain widespread support. The Nazi Party capitalized on the economic instability, unemployment, and general discontent, positioning itself as the only party capable of restoring Germany to prosperity. By the early 1930s, the Nazi Party had become a major political force in Germany. In the 1932 presidential elections, Hitler ran against the incumbent president, Paul von Hindenburg, and although he lost, he garnered significant support. In the Reichstag, German parliament, elections, the Nazi Party became the largest party, although it did not have an outright majority. In January 1933, under immense political pressure and maneuvering, President Hindenburg appointed Hitler as Chancellor of Germany. This appointment marked the beginning of Hitler's consolidation of power. Once in office, he quickly moved to dismantle the democratic structures of the Weimar Republic. The Reichstag fire in February 1933, which the Nazis blamed on communists, provided a pretext for the Reichstag fire decree, which suspended civil liberties and allowed for the arrest of political opponents. In March 1933, the Enabling Act was passed, giving Hitler the power to enact laws without the Reichstag's approval, effectively making him a dictator. Over the next few years, Hitler and the Nazi Party systematically eliminated political opposition, established total control over the state apparatus, and implemented policies that would lead to World War I and the Holocaust. Hitler's rise to power was characterized by his ability to exploit economic and political instability, his exceptional oratory skills, and his ruthless elimination of opposition. His early life and personal experiences, combined with the turbulent conditions of post-World War I Germany, played crucial roles in shaping his path to becoming one of history's most infamous dictators. From a troubled childhood and failed artistic ambitions to his leadership of the Nazi Party and eventual dictatorship, Hitler's journey to power was marked by a combination of personal determination, opportunistic exploitation of Germany's vulnerabilities, and a relentless pursuit of his ideological goals. The impact of his rise to power would be felt worldwide, leading to unprecedented destruction and loss of life. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into history and the figures who shaped it.